Namaskar, and thank you for inviting me to address this ideation seminar on Asianism Retold. Quite frankly, when Neha invited me to speak at this forum, I hesitated big time because Asia is such a complex mystery. How was I at all qualified to attempt this? But then I realized that as a practicing Indian classical dancer, my story is also an equal part of the Asian story. Which brings me to the first problem of Asianism Retold is that we do not tell our one Asia story often enough to our children, students, and youth. And this needs to be corrected. And this conference of ideas, so lovingly curated, probably is the first big step towards rethinking our common Asian roots through the window of Asian values. My knowledge is, of course, based on my classical dance, Bharatanatyam, that has a unique pedagogy that has been bequeathed to us through a traditional system of learning where students learn both the craft and the art of the classical dance through an intimate interaction with their teacher or guru. They imbibe not just the movements and expressions of the dance, but also the lifestyle and values of the guru, the teacher, who is their mentor and guides them to find themselves in the dance. The word guru means just that, someone who removes the gu darkness and leads the disciples to ru representing light. The first gesture taught in Indian classical dance, whatever the style, is the Bhumi Pranam, the salutation to Mother Earth. A humble gesture where the dancer pays obeisance to the earth. With that gestural touch, the dancer seeks permission from the earth to dance on her. This unique connection of the dance to planet Earth bequeaths to the dance a deep connection with human existence and sustainability. It makes us humble and links the individual to the vaster whole, the physical and metaphysical universes. The dances of Asia are all earthbound. Unlike the dances of the West that seek to be aesthetically crafted against the force of gravity, the Asian dances are all firmly grounded and are built integrating the force of gravity. In my own dance style of Bharatanatyam, our unique aramandi or half-sitting posture pivots the human body to the pull of Earth's gravity, and we manipulate our movements reverentially, understanding gravity. Each time we strike our heel or foot on the ground, we are applauding the gravitational life force. The other Asian value that the arts yield is that we are seekers, not of mere vidya, learning, but of gyan, comprehensive knowledge. Our search is determined not by short-term goals, but longer goals of enlightenment, where the inner spiritual search has to be equally satisfied even while we chase short-term goals. It is this twin reed of dual realities that infuses the Asian search, the practical coexisting with the inner search or dream, the cyclical always informing our linear ambitions. This double reed is crafted into my classical dance, the linear rhythms that we learn to master then yield to us a unique freedom where we can improvise and express our deepest selves in the way we want. That is why choreography or choreographers do not easily enter the arts lexicon of Asia. We prefer visualizers, since what every dancer expresses is uniquely their own persona and something that cannot be committed to a predetermined routine. Improvisation, what we call manodharma, is integral to the dance. The other value that links us is freedom and the ability to express our own personal convictions and dreams. The aim of the arts of Asia is not to be bound, but to permit the artist's inner flight to attain deeply personal goals. This emphasis on self expression is also reflected in the pedagogy of the Asian arts, where the artists are taught to express oneself. Facial expressions and hand mudra or gestures become a sophisticated language that have to be mastered by both the artist and the audience. And this unique understanding of the arts by the viewer yields perfect joy to both the viewer and the viewed. And this unique connection with the audience is inbuilt, for example, into the first gestures that we are taught in Bharatanatyam. The first salutation, pranam, held high over our heads, pays obeisance to the larger spiritual powers that guide us. The second namaskar, held reverentially at the center point of the forehead, is to mark respect to our knowledge givers, our gurus and teachers. And the third salutation, held mid-chest, is to the audience, who become co-travelers in the artistic journey. This respect for the others, co-traveling with you, is reflected both in the spires of Asian architecture and in the humble doorways where one bends low to enter an abode, a symbol of entering in utmost humility and of leaving one's ego outside. In Japan's Ikebana, the three principles of heaven, earth, man completely mirror the deep philosophy of Bharatanatyam. Such values are cultural and can be equally found in other arts of Asia, where the values of Zen informs human attitudes. In Japan and China, for example, the cultural values that one aspires for are simplicity, subtle grace, freeness, tranquility, and beauty in the understated. The Asian artistic temperament is also full of symbolism and pregnant with multiple meanings. One of the most popular symbols of the dance from India is the motif of the dancing Shiva. Allow me to lead you in dance through the mysteries of the iconography, which will enable you to see in concrete terms what I have said on Asian values.
Shiva. Explanation of iconography. Shiva remains an eternal mystery. His duality is bewildering. On the one hand, he is nirguna, without form, both omniscient and omnipresent. He is also saguna, with form. And in this, he is often depicted as the vortex of the universe, the Nataraja, king of dancers. His dance depicting cosmic energy. The image of Nataraja is indeed very profound. It portrays the deity not as a static entity, but in kinetic animation, which could reflect equally the intercosmic dance of the galaxies or the subatomic dance of the neutrons. Shiva represents the proto-male. His phallus, the lingam, is said to be the axis of the universe, the fount of regeneration. From destruction springs creation. Break to make, break and make, break, make. The eternal story of creation. As the Nataraja, his outstretched arms represent the twin forces of creation and destruction. In the one he holds a rattle drum, representing the great sound, the logos from which all creation springs, the Big Bang from which time and space both flash into being. Shiva's drum is the symbol of creative activity. In the other, Shiva holds fire, symbol of destruction, the inevitable counterpart of creation. The third hand in the Abhaya Mudra says, "Do not fear. I shall protect as I shall destroy." And his fourth hand points to his raised foot, which in turn points to salvation, symbolic of the release from the spell of Maya. Shiva's other foot dances on the demon Apasmara Purusha, who represents our egos. Only by suppressing one's avidya, ego, can one attain the Godhead. Shiva's matted locks, a nimbus of straight lines curving in space, connote the complexities of human existence. These locks are crowned with the crescent moon, denoting the waxing and waning and the shifting of time. And from those locks sprouts the river goddess Ganga, representing eternity, eternity and purity. The cobra snakes coiling on Shiva's arms, neck and body again represent vibrant and dynamic cosmic energy. The Kundalini, the power which resides at the base of the spine and which, when aroused, leads to the transmutation of consciousness. These snakes also represent change, and adorned by these snakes, Shiva presides over change. He wears a garland of skulls, a reminder that death comes to one and all. He also wears one male earring and another female earring, symbolizing the concept of Ardhanarishwara, the creative fusion of male and female entities into a single divinity. Shiva's third eye depicts him as a god who is all-seeing and wise. This is thus the seat of wisdom. Shiva opens his third eye to destroy evil. The circle of flames around Shiva symbolizes both the arch of nature and the continuity and eternal motion of the universe through the paths of creation, preservation, and destruction, the vast, unending cycles of time. His Vahana, or vehicle, is the bull, Nandi, symbol of strength and constancy. And Shiva's consort is the radiant Parvati, the Earth Mother Goddess.